An innocent girl was accused of witchcraft by her own stepmother. Why? Because she had a rare gift, one the world didn't understand. Banished from her village, homeless, rejected, and forced to wander the streets, she became invisible to everyone except destiny. Because one day she crossed paths with a heartbroken billionaire whose only daughter had been unable to walk since birth. Doctors from around the world had failed. Medicine had given up. But this homeless girl looked him in the eye and said one sentence that shocked everyone. "Sir, I can make your daughter walk." Was she crazy or chosen? And how did a girl with no education dare to challenge what the world's best doctors couldn't fix? This is not just a story. It's a journey of pain, rejection, faith, and a miracle no one saw coming. Her name was Layla Morgan. She was 16 years old when her life fell apart. Layla didn't look powerful. She was thin, quiet. Her clothes were always worn and faded. She kept her head down and spoke only when spoken to. Her real mother died when Layla was 5. Her father remarried soon after, then passed away suddenly 2 years later. That's when Layla's stepmother, Clara, showed her true face. From that day on, Layla stopped being a child. She became a servant. She woke up before sunrise to fetch water. She cleaned the house, cooked meals she rarely ate, washed clothes until her fingers cracked. And yet, none of that made Clara hate her. What made Clara hate her was Layla's gift. People started noticing strange things. A neighbor's baby had a fever that wouldn't break. Layla crushed leaves, mixed them with water, and told the mother how to use it. By morning, the baby was laughing again. An old woman couldn't sleep because of pain in her back. Layla massaged her with oil made from roots near the river. The pain vanished. A boy collapsed during a meal choking. While others panicked, Layla stayed calm, pressed his chest, and saved his life. Instead of gratitude, fear spread. She's strange. She sees things. That power isn't normal. Fear doesn't ask questions. It makes accusations. Clara listened carefully to every whisper, and she added fuel. She talks in her sleep. She knows things before they happen. I don't feel safe around her. The word witch followed Layla everywhere. One night, Layla had a dream that didn't feel like a dream. She saw a man in a dark suit. His face looked tired, broken by years of pain. Beside him sat a teenage girl in a wheelchair. Her legs were perfect, no scars, no damage, yet completely still. In the dream, Layla stood in front of them. And she heard herself say, "I can make her walk." She woke up shaking. Her heart pounded, her chest felt tight. "This wasn't imagination," she whispered. It felt like a message. But she didn't know from whom. The very next day, something terrible happened. A respected man in the village, Mr. Harris, collapsed suddenly and died. People were shocked. Then someone remembered. Didn't Layla say something strange yesterday? Yes, she warned her stepmother something bad would happen. That was all it took. She knew. Only witches know death before it comes. She caused it. By evening, angry voices surrounded the house. "Bring her out. She can't stay here. She'll kill more people." Clara didn't protect her. She opened the door, threw a torn bag at Layla's feet, and shouted, "Get out of my house, don't ever come back." Layla didn't cry. She didn't argue. She picked up her bag and walked away. She was homeless. That night, Layla slept behind a closed shop near the market. Cold, hungry, alone. Mosquitoes bit her skin, her stomach hurt from hunger. Yet the pain in her heart hurt more. "Why is my gift a curse?" she whispered. As she stared at the sky, the image returned. The man in the suit. The girl in the wheelchair. This time, the man looked straight at her. Waiting. A quiet voice inside her said, "Go." Miles away, in a city full of glass buildings and luxury cars, Ethan Cole stared at his daughter. Ethan was a billionaire, powerful, influential, a man who could buy almost anything. Except a miracle. His daughter Sophie, 17 years old, had never walked. Doctors were confused, her body was perfect, her nerves worked, her muscles responded. Yet her legs refused to move. Specialists came from New York, London, Germany. Machines filled their private gym. Years of therapy passed. Nothing worked. One doctor finally said the words Ethan feared most. "There is no medical explanation and no cure." Ethan felt something break inside him. Sophie looked at him and smiled gently. "Dad, it's okay." But it was. The next day, Ethan decided to take Sophie to the park. Children ran past them, laughing, falling, standing up again. Sophie watched quietly. "I like it here," she said. "At least I can imagine running." Ethan nodded, hiding his pain. He stepped away to get water. That's when he saw her. A barefoot girl standing near the sidewalk, dirty clothes, tired eyes. She wasn't begging loudly. She just stood there. Something made Ethan stop. He grabbed food and cash from his car and handed it to her. "Eat," he said. "Thank you, sir," she replied. He turned to leave. Then, "Sir," he stopped. "I can make your daughter walk." Ethan turned slowly. "What did you say?" The girl met his eyes. "I can make your daughter walk." His driver laughed nervously. "Yes, sir, she's not well." Ethan raised his hand. Sophie opened the car door slightly. "Dad," she whispered. "I saw her in my dream." Ethan's heart froze. The same dream. The same image. He looked at the girl again. "What's your name?" "Leela." He took a deep breath. "Get in the car." Lena woke up slowly. For a few seconds, she didn't understand where she was. The ceiling was white, clean, a faint hum filled the air, the bed beneath her was soft, too soft. Panic shot through her chest. She sat up abruptly. Then she remembered. The rain. The car. The man named Daniel. The motel room came into focus. Beige walls, a small desk, a TV bolted to the wall, a paper bag sitting neatly beside the door. Food. Her throat tightened. She swung her legs off the bed, feet sinking into carpet instead of cold concrete. That sensation alone almost broke her. She hadn't slept this deeply in years. She opened the bag with shaking hands. Inside were pancakes, eggs, fruit, and a note written on a plain white napkin. "I'll be back at 9 a.m., Daniels." Lena checked the clock. 8:47. Her stomach twisted, not with hunger this time, but fear. People didn't come back. People always said they would, and then disappeared. She forced herself to eat anyway, savoring each bite like it might be the last normal moment of her life. At exactly 9:00, there was a knock on the door. Her heart pounded as she opened it. Daniel stood there, dressed simply this time, no expensive coat, just a sweater and jeans, coffee in hand. "Good morning," he said. She exhaled. "You came." "I said I would." They sat at the small table in the room. Daniel took a breath. "Lena, before we talk about anything else, there's something you should know about me." Her fingers curled around her coffee cup. "I run a company," he continued, "a big one." She blinked, like how big? He hesitated, then said it plainly. "I'm a billionaire." The word hit her like a physical force. She laughed once, sharp, disbelieving. "No, you're not." Daniel didn't smile. I didn't stop because of money, he said calmly, and I don't want it to scare you, but I won't lie to you either. Her mind raced. Billionaire. Cars, suits, power. Men like that didn't stop for girls like her. Why, she asked, voice barely above a whisper. Why me? Daniel leaned forward. Because 25 years ago, I was you. She frowned. That's not funny. I'm not joking. He told her everything. About growing up in foster homes. About sleeping in abandoned buildings. About being invisible. About the woman who once bought him a meal and paid for one semester of community college, the chance that changed his entire life. She didn't save me forever, Daniel said quietly. She just helped me stand up. I did the rest. Silence filled the room. Lena stared at the table. No one had ever talked to her like this before. What does this have to do with me? She asked. Daniel met her eyes. I want to give you the same chance. Daniel didn't sugarcoat it. I can help you get off the streets. Housing, school, healthcare, everything you need. Her breath caught. But he continued, not without rules. Her hope trembled. What kind of rules? You commit, you show up, you work, and if you quit, I won't chase you. She nodded slowly. I don't want to own you, he said. I want to support you. A long pause. Then Lena asked the question that terrified her most. What if I fail? Daniel answered without hesitation. Then you try again. Tears spilled down her face before she could stop them. No one had ever allowed her to fail safely. I'll do it, she said. Daniel smiled, not like a billionaire, but like someone who understood. Okay, he said, then we start today. The apartment Daniel arranged wasn't fancy. One bedroom, clean, safe, warm. To Lena, it felt like a palace. The fridge was full. The closet had donated clothes in her size. A desk sat by the window. Daniel handed her a phone. For emergencies and school. School. The word felt unreal. Within weeks, Lena was enrolled in an alternative high school program. The first day, she almost didn't go. She stood in the bathroom staring at herself in the mirror, clean hair, borrowed jacket, sneakers that weren't falling apart. She didn't recognize the girl staring back. At school, whispers followed her. She was older than some students, quieter than others, behind in math, ahead in science. But she worked harder than anyone. Every night. Every weekend. Daniel never hovered. He checked in once a week, asked about her goals, her fears. He never gave advice unless she asked. Trust grew slowly, cautiously, like a wound healing. 6 months later, everything almost fell apart. A tabloid article exploded online. Billionaire secretly supporting homeless teen. Photos of Daniel and Lena outside the school, at a grocery store, sitting in a cafe. Comments were brutal. This is creepy. What's his real motive? She's probably being used. Lena saw it on her phone during lunch. Her hands shook. By evening, reporters were outside her building. Daniel called immediately. I'm so sorry, he said. I didn't think. I can't do this, she whispered. They think I'm. I know, he said firmly. Listen to me, you haven't done anything wrong. But the damage was done. The next morning, her school counselor called her in. Maybe it would be better if you took some time off, the woman said gently. Lena walked home in a fog. By the time she reached the apartment, a decision had formed in her mind. She packed her backpack, left the phone on the table, and walked out, back to the streets. Rain greeted her again. Same streets, same cold. Different girl. But pain felt familiar. She slept under an overpass that night. shaking, angry at herself for believing she could escape. By morning, she was sick. Feverish, weak. That's where Daniel found her. He hadn't slept. When he saw her curled against the concrete, his composure broke. "Lena," he said urgently, "what are you doing?" She turned her face away. "I told you I wouldn't chase you," she said hoarsely. "You don't have to be here." Daniel knelt beside her anyway. "I'm not here because of a promise," he said. "I'm here because you matter." She looked at him, really looked. And for the first time, she believed it. The decision that defined her future. Recovery was slow. But Lena returned to school stronger. The media moved on. Daniel quietly created a scholarship fund for homeless youth, never attaching her name. Years passed. Lena graduated. Top of her class. She earned a nursing degree. Then another. On graduation day, she stood at the podium. The audience was full. And in the front row sat Daniel Harper, eyes wet with pride. She spoke calmly. "I used to sleep outside," she said, "invisible, cold, afraid." Gasps rippled through the room. But one person stopped. She paused. "Not to save me forever, just long enough for me to stand." She found Daniel's eyes. And that changed everything. 10 years later, Lena walked through the emergency room doors wearing scrubs. A young girl sat shivering on a bench, soaked from the rain. Lena knelt. "What's your name?" she asked gently. The girl whispered it. Lena smiled. "Come on," she said, standing. "Let's get you somewhere warm." Outside, rain fell. But this time, the girl wasn't invisible. One stop, one choice, one moment of kindness can change a life forever.